Good luck, bud.
Thanks, dude. All right, is this thing on? Are we live? What?
I think we are.
Oh my goodness.
So it looks like Bash is going to be running any percent Metroid Prime today.
Yeah, we'll let this guy run this game. All right, so because we've absolutely destroyed the Bid War, Fusion Suit will of course be enabled as per marathon tradition. Like, why not, you know?
Well, it's so beautiful. I mean, I hear it actually does make you go faster too.
Yeah, it's a slimmer suit. You have better aerodynamics to dash. So I will be looking at the chat here on Cold Ones Inc. Thank you, by the way, to the Cold Ones Inc. group for accepting my run. I greatly appreciate it. It's been a while since I've done a marathon run, actually. This is only my second one, so... Of course, I am hoping things go well, but I have backups in case... Oh, I don't want to disable that. Yeah, let's just disable the music.
You are making the smart decision to not use any out of bounds in this run, which...
Yeah, that is cheating. That is a cheat.
Seeing as it's not even necessary for good times. I mean...
Yeah, no.
You can actually get sub-hour in this game without going out of bounds. So.
Yeah, already our first shout-out before we even started to Jack879. Currently in 4th place, tied for 4th place among two other people with a 55 in-game time. That's really fast. But he has the world record for inbounds any percent, which what I'll be doing. I will not be doing any wall crawls, no out of bounds, no cheating this run.
And here's,
so.
I mean, just it's very safe. It's much safer than going out of bounds and falling, which isn't fun for anybody. So
with this current route, it's great because it's very modular, but it's also extremely nice for inbounds, and it's also like the best beginner route this game's probably ever had for speedruns. So everything that I'll be doing, there's other things you can do, like get Spider Ball, that are just like right there that you don't have to go out of your way for to really do. I mean, it doesn't take away from like one particular trick, but it's not that hard. It's just a punishing run ender if you do miss it. But let's not get on a tangent and actually, you know, run. So I take it Death is ready. Cold Ones, are you guys ready? Waiting for them in chat. I think that's where I get the cue. Everyone already spamming Bash W. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for the well wishes. What do you mean, why is my voice like that? Oh, is my voice down? Did it down sample again? Does it sound... Oh my god, hold on.
Sometimes my interface does this. I don't know why it did that. That's extremely weird. Do I sound okay now? I'm not entirely sure how to troubleshoot that besides re-plug in the mixer. So hopefully that sounds better. Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that sometimes. That's extremely weird. Okay, we good? Do I sound normal? No, it's not. This is my actual voice, dude. No, I have a little bit higher pitched voice than normal. Okay, cool. Thanks for warning me about that. My god. Okay. We're running late. I'm already 3 minutes late. So, okay. Cold Ones Inc. is ready. I will count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And Metroid Prime, any percent.
God. This is Metroid Prime. Classic speed game, long history ever since, like, it basically came out in November 2002. Lots of optimizations made over the course of those 15 years, and you'll be seeing the results of that, all this work today. So, we're starting off the boss fight, and I can't really do this well. But we got through Phase 1 okay. Phase 2 is coming
targets. The notorious targets.
Oh my god. Need to practice Frigate more. So, this is the Space Pirate Frigate, sort of the tutorial level of Prime. And, God, there's a lot to explain, even with the first room.
So, I mean, right here, you're actually going to be seeing Bash use a technique that we call dashing. This is basically just a manipulation of the movement physics in this game. Basically, there's a standard move that you can do, which is a combat strafe or combat dash. This is intended in the game. However, by simply letting go of the L button after we dashed, using, in a very particular frame limit, we're able to just kind of fly sideways with the no sideways speed cap that this game had.
There might actually be a speed cap. It's either set really, really high or there's no speed cap. I'll just think,
so
you know,
using
positively.
This, we're actually able to just jump like ridiculously far distances in this game and do a lot of sequence breaking, essentially.
Yeah, you'll see one once we actually get on the planet Talon 4, where the actual like game happens. This is just the tutorial level, so nothing really that crazy happens sequence break wise that you'll be seeing at least in this run. I was in the wrong room for a second. That dash worked out well. And you'll kind of see me waiting for doors. Those actually aren't random. One thing that's kind of notorious for Metroid Prime is just how long doors load. But it actually has a set amount of time that they'll load based on how fast the disc reads. Funny enough,
I mean, in some rooms, you'll actually see him kind of what almost looks like go out of his way occasionally. This is because of the fact that these rooms don't have random load times. There's occasionally we purposely do this to hit load triggers, which cause the next room to load. And if he's waiting at a door, that just means that that room is still loading, essentially.
Yeah, most rooms don't take that long to load. Like, by the time I'll get to the door, it'll just open. Or the worst part of it is it'll just, oh my god, I didn't scan it all the way. I'm gonna die. Not really. It's still not scanned! What the... Okay. I don't know what happened. I might actually save here just to have health to work with. I mean, it's not that bad. I have 36 health, which isn't the worst, but... Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty bad. Test levels of perfection.
I've actually never seen that thing not scanned before. That was
no, I think I was, like, framed perfectly, like, trying to, like, just press L as short as possible. Oh my god, this is pretty bad. I have 16 health right now. So, say hi, Parasite Queen. Actually, I'm not going to get the quick kill. Damn it. So, normally I would say don't blink, but I waited too long. And my missiles weren't coming out fast enough. But you can shoot, like, 8 to 10 missiles. And I think 8's the minimum you need to kill it. And it'll just die. Okay, I'm going to play the next couple of rooms a little bit safer. I can kill the parasites for health. I think I have a pretty generous estimate now, too. I put 142, but I think they gave me an hour 50, so worst comes to worst, I can just do this again. Pitsky can give me some encouragement, too. You know, like, don't die, Batch.
Yeah, definitely don't die. No, I think you'll be pretty safe here. I mean, essentially, the turrets are the only things you really got to worry about.
That's here, like the one scary room, because the space pirates can actually deal a bit of damage to you. Like, I think it's like 10 damage.
And you beat that load, which is nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember when I would be doing the inbounds escape, and I would rarely ever beat the load. I used to feel like such a noob there.
So, normally in that room where the space pirates shoot that other parasite, you can actually go out of bounds and, like, finish the room in, like, a couple minutes. Oh, why did I morph? Or unmorph?
However, this out of bounds to get out of the frigate is rather risky. In fact...
Yeah, you can soft lock.
We've seen it in marathon runs before where somebody has fallen and lost multiple minutes to it, so...
I didn't dash out the parasite. I was autopiloting too much. Whoops.
But you did have the 2 missiles to kill the turrets there, which is huge.
Yeah, that's why I killed that turret, because it always drops a missile pack. One of the rare times, actually, you get a guaranteed drop from an enemy.
That is actually one thing that we can use this time during the frigate to explain. So this game does not have set drop rates. Like, for example, if any of you have ever played, like, Metroid Prime Echoes, for example.
Yeah, Prime 2...
Right, it actually reads your... It actually, like, knows your item inventory and will give you drops according to what you need or don't need. In Prime, these drop rates are set by the room and are completely don't care what you have in your inventory. So there are a couple of instances throughout the different categories in Prime where you actually rely on drops that are not guaranteed, and it is possible to lose time to that.
I'm really angry this cutscene's not skippable.
It is.
It is, like, actually, in one point, like, player's choice, I think, or something. Or
no, I was just referring to out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, it is. Out of bounds actually skips the cutscene where you lose all your items. But
yeah, yes. The false item
it doesn't
loss.
actually matter because the game will check.
Had him when he was in the
It'll
sixth
still
grade.
take away your
He
items
had
at
on
the final
some leather
cutscene
deck shoes.
when you
Took one
actually
drop
go to
step,
town.
went up and grabbed the rim.
Talon,
But,
to be
we got
honest.
something.
Yeah,
here.
I think
I
it's
look
that.
over to
That's
the
what
right,
happens.
Green Bay against the Packers. When he made the turn,
So minor strat, I walk onto this turret and I can dash off of it so it gets some quick. It's a really small time save.
And let's just take note of how lovely Samus' suit just got right
Yeah,
there.
Very suit's gone. We got our lovely blue fusion suit, our berry blue Gogurt suit. Actually, no, Gogurt suit's gravity suit, which I actually like that color scheme a lot, but unfortunately
No,
we
the
won't be
gravity
seeing
one
it this
is,
run.
I gotta say, the gravity one, even the Phazon one actually doesn't look quite as bad. It's the first
Yeah.
two that are.
Also,
a
one thing I'm
little
doing this
questionable.
hallway, and I've been doing this escape. I don't know what time that was actually. That was like a 420 something.
I will be able to tell you here in 1 second. To be
That was like a
honest.
422, I think, or a 423.
It was actually a 424, man.
Are you serious? I didn't even dash
424?
off that. Wow, that would have been like a 425 if I got that parasite dash.
Not bad, not bad.
Wow, casual 424. That's. I mean, it's not a great
So
time, but
the
it's not bad.
Best time ever recorded on console was a 435.
So if you saw that like aiming reticle that came up in the center of the screen whenever I jumped, I'm basically holding down the L button for like a brief bit before I jump every time. And that's called L jumping. It's very significant actually for this run. What happens is the game will sort of decelerate you normally before it accelerates you as you jump, and you move faster than. Oh, I guess I heard some. Chat's hearing something. Anyways, doesn't matter. So that dashing mechanic, the scan dash, we can use it here to jump on this ledge and basically skip about half an hour. Oh my god, I failed it. That was a bad jump. So much for that first try.
Well, so this is actually where the first time you're gonna really see the use of space of the dashing mechanic used here. This is
And
actually a very, very significant sequence break.
Yes.
I believe it's supposed to be picked up. Space Jump here is supposed to be picked up like 12th in the item order sequence of the game when
It's still,
intended by
yeah,
Metro.
it's still a relatively early item that you get. Basically, you clear out Chozo first, get Boost Ball, and then come back.
But it saves the backtrack
But it breaks
all the
to
way
open the
from
early game.
Padrana, so
It does so much this run. It's like the best item in the game for sure for speedrunning, without question. It's not just that you get a second jump. It allows you to like jump through rooms much faster than you otherwise would without a single jump. And while it is possible to beat the game without Space Jump, it's significantly harder for some rooms, especially if you don't have like Boost Ball. So
I think those are probably the big three, honestly, for getting through the game extremely fast. Charge
Exactly.
Beam, Boost Ball, and Space Jump.
yeah, Boost
So-
Ball is actually a huge sequence break item that we'll see later.
That's actually the reason. So, being that this is an any percent run, you might be wondering why we pick up certain missiles or why we pick up certain things.
There's a
when
missile
it's known
expansion
that
up
you
here. I'll
skip
just show
them.
you guys. So
Right.
Normally you'd go to this boss fight that's a little further down and get it, but because we have Space Jump, we can jump off of slopes. Not that because we have Space Jump, but we can jump high enough with the Space Jump boots. Oh, I didn't get the energy tank. I'm dumb. This could be really risky. I meant to go get an energy tank after I got the missile, but I'll just go grab it after I get this. Dashing off of that allows me to skip the beetle fight. I just jump over the fight trigger where it starts.
And now we get to listen to awesome music.
Hey, LV,
for-
inbounds is not cheating. I can do anything inbounds and it still won't cheat at all. So I took a big risk. Those little beetles that drop from the ceiling, if you're not morphed, they'll do tons of damage to you if you walk through them. So luckily, I didn't take too much damage. I could have easily died. Like, it's kind of weird. So I'm going to take a bit of a time loss and go grab the energy tank. I'm supposed to do it now. Oh my god, that was bad dashes. So normally I'm getting those missiles, and then I would come here and then immediately grab this energy tank. Again, Space Jump with L jumping allows me to jump far enough to get this energy tank without having to go all the way around through a couple of rooms. So the actual sequence, besides getting Space Jump first, doesn't change too much. We're gonna grab Morph Ball, some missiles, an energy tank for a bit of safety, and the Morph Ball bombs, as well as Charge Beam. While Charge Beam is a little bit out of the way, I also didn't do the pause here. I'll just show it. This one door you can pause on, and it'll still load as it's paused. It saves on in-game time. Oh, I actually made that. I could have run out of missiles there. That would have been pretty bad.
As you can see, this space jump and dashing technique that we use, honestly, just completely like cuts the time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Going through almost every room in the entire game. I mean, it just looks like you're flying through it because you pretty much are.
I'm like hitting walls that I normally wouldn't be. I think I'm just playing nervous. So to get charge beam, you have to scan these like symbols. So I'm just doing it fast, or I would have if I made that jump. There's a backup. It's fine. Oh, I'll just scan this now. I don't know how I stayed on that platform. And then just for speed, we can dash into the charge beam. So while charge beam is a bit out of the way, it makes combat just a lot better. You do a lot more damage overall with charge beam against enemies. You can one-shot or, you know, it'll only take a few charge beam shots to kill enemies, particularly bosses too.
Well, and really particularly the end bosses. As someone that has completed the game under the low percent conditions,
You just did that a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah, right. And I can assure you that the end bosses, we'll see Bash probably beat the end bosses, and I'm guessing somewhere between 8 to 10 minutes. Without charge beam, it takes significantly longer. So.
So
right there, he actually
fight,
shot a missile at that save door because we need that to.
Yeah, I'll be taking that save anyway.
I won't spoil too much, but we do need that door to be open later.
Yeah, it's significant about half hour from now, basically. I should have. What the hell? My controller.
It would be something where we would honestly, it would be run ending if he didn't do that.
So here's the worst boss in the game, the incinerator drone, otherwise known as Zoid. Shoutouts to David Zoid Kirsch, one of the senior software engineers that was on Metroid Prime and Prime 2. I don't know if he was on Prime 3.
He
Very
loved
random boss.
RNG.
This is basically the one auto-scroller in the game, besides elevators, which don't really affect in-game time.
He felt as if it was a great. I mean, it is a great addition to the game. But having RNG in the game, you know, caused the player to experience something different every time.
Basically, what happens is I have to wait until that little eye comes out, and it's random when it comes out, but I know that there's a max range or min and max range it'll come out. So phase 1 is you'll wait between 8 and 13 seconds, and then phases 2 through 4 take either 15 or up to 25 seconds, anywhere in between those times.
And if you're anything like
so
me,
far, this is pretty bad. Or phase 2 was average. I think phase 1 was pretty bad. And I can just jump on this guy with space jump. You don't need space jump, but it's easier.
I actually gauge how well each phase is going, to be honest, by how many bees drop out of the hive up top above you.
I use the music.
If you see like 4 bees drop out of a hive above you, you can pretty much guess it's like a maximum like phase.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually good to know. Yeah, but the music's about to loop. Generally, you don't want the music to loop when you're about to beat him, but this is a pretty bad overall Zoid. So so phase 1 and you can wait up to 5 seconds, and then phase 2 you have up to 10 seconds of time loss each. So this fight can take anywhere from, oh god, that was nice. Those bees can, like, those wasps can really knock you off.
It's about a 45-second variance, is it not?
It's a 35-second variance total.
35-second variance.
I got knocked off by a wasp and it was annoying. Normally I just drop down, but I have to. Okay. So we got more ball bombs. Fusion Seal looks amazing. I'm gonna try to go for a frame perfect on Morph here. Oh, I didn't get it. It was too late. Really small time saver.
Prime does run at 60 frames a second, meaning that any 1 frame, supposed 1 frame trick that we'd be trying to nail would be a 1/60.
Yeah. This game doesn't really have anything significant that's like 1 frame only. There's a couple of instances where it can save you time, but it's so rare, and no one really goes for them.
I actually can't even think of one thing. There are a few things where we used to think it was 1 frame, but it's actually since been discovered that it's probably more.
There's a couple of dashes in like 21%. That's like the low percent category for this game. Also, shouts to Ecor. I bet a bunch of top-tier Prime runners right now. Ooh, I got the instant.
So this is actually, yeah, honestly, this is one of the things where you're seeing him do this because he's not going out of bounds. This does not lose a ton of time necessarily to going out of bounds, but it becomes necessary since he's not going to be doing the ice beam before Flogger wall crawl.
Yeah, and that's significant because that used to be the previous route for this game called ice beam before Flogger. What happens is you would wall crawl all the way to the other side of Choza Ruins, and then go back inbounds and get Ice Beam before fighting Flagra. the gist of it. So that wall crawl still is faster than going inbounds, but it's not by much. And the big time save for that is getting what's called Ghost Skip, where you can actually skip a Chozo Ghost fight.
Which is actually a pretty significant.
It's pretty significant, actually.
Trick, later on in the run, you can do the IBBF wall crawl, miss Ghost Skip, and pretty much have rendered the wall crawl you did completely useless, basically.
Yeah.
As far as time save goes. So
Quick
here,
dismissal for,
thankfully, he doesn't need to worry about that anymore. It's another benefit of not doing the wall crawl, I guess you could say.
So we have everything we need to fight the first like major boss of the game that's not Parasite Queen, Flagra, or what a couple of people, including myself, like to call the Flugster. He's it's crazy because like it's full of cutscenes. It's a really slow fight RTA, although it's still required even if you're running for RTA. We actually run by in-game time for Prime, so you'll see me like wait out certain cutscenes, or do certain things that manipulate in-game time so that we can save time for the in-game timer that would otherwise sacrifice on RTA. So I can jump on these hives here and then just go all the way to the top of the room. And then with a well-timed bomb jump, you can skip the gate and just
That
go
was actually
immediately
one of
to
the
Flagra.
early significant things that was found in this game regarding sequence breaking.
God,
Was
can you go on,
that
please?
we discovered that you could basically stand on almost everything in the game. Anything that looks like it has collision, it turned out those things were standable. This was one of the first things that led people to start realizing that we could collect items out of order.
So I'm waiting
And
for this
actually,
door to open.
I'll give shoutouts to Tom Lube here.
Tom
he
Loop's
just
amazing.
He just recently released a great read, actually, the history of Metroid Prime sequence breaking. It's a great read, and it kind of just covers everything that the game has,
So-
the whole
so this
history
is-
behind running it.
So this is Flagra. I have to shoot that mirror array. What you're normally supposed to do in this fight, also I'm not going in the bomb slot. Normally you shoot these mirrors to like basically incapacitate him, make him stunned, or he'll just like sort of knock him out, and then it'll open up these bomb tunnels to go in a bomb slot, and then you lay a bomb, and that's actually what damages him. These bomb slots are actually not like any other bomb slot in the game. They're just damage triggers, and so as long as you're close to them, you can damage Flagra. So we'll be exploiting the fuck out of this. Oh, excuse me, I completely... Oh my god.
He can skip shooting these mirrors altogether if he wants to.
This could be pretty bad. I'm gonna take some damage here. Oh my god, this is pretty bad. I took a lot of damage. So I failed that dash. You can dash over the bomb tunnel. I also apologize for the curse word. I completely had no filter there. But so he's kind of stuck in this attacking animation. He thinks I'm in front of him, and so he's just gonna slash for him like I'm technically am. It's kind of weird. So missing that dash is kind of dangerous, actually. I hit the thing again. This is a pretty bad fight. I'll be okay. That first dash I do is pretty dangerous because I have to jump over the bomb slot to actually easily hit the, to actually be able to morph on top of it and then hit it. But I missed all the dashes.
And one of the
so.
reasons this boss actually does so much, it seems like this boss is doing a lot of damage for something that you might encounter.
You have no
this early.
invincibility frames when he hits you. It's super dumb.
The thing is when you fight this boss with the intended sequence order, you typically, I think, have like over 4 or 5.
You can have up to 3 energy tanks total, and you get
Right.
like 2 of them pretty easily.
So it does seem like this boss is doing a lot of damage for a boss early on, but I mean, again, this is just a product of sequence breaking the game. We don't have as many energy tanks as they originally thought you would have when encountering this boss.
So shoutouts to me not dying. I actually died in this fight in my first marathon run.
I just died in this fight like 2 days ago.
I just died earlier when I was setting up my backup save.
Okay, so coming up here is a really
Unskippable cutscene for one.
break.
Oh, get ready, guys! It's coming! It's coming, guys!
Yep. So we call this early wild. This is to pick up the art.
Who said I was doing early wild? I might do floaty wild. I'm kidding.
Okay, good.
We're gonna do early wild for sure.
The bottom line of this game is actually picking up all the artifacts. This allows you to fight Ridley later on as one of the final bosses.
And it unlocks the final
So-
level of the game.
Right, and so right now, instead of collecting super missiles and spider ball and amongst other things, he is going to drop halfway down a room, hit a trigger that causes this room's layer to load.
Yeah.
And he will be able to fight the next boss that this room provides, which is a series of ghosts, Chozo ghosts. and allowing him to get the Artifact of Wild much earlier than intended.
Yeah, in 100%, it's actually faster to come back with the Super Missile and Spider Ball that you normally need. But we're gonna do this now. So I need serious time. I need serious time real quick.
This is a dangerous. No, this
I
is
need
a dangerous.
I need serious
trick
time.
for-
Sorry, I'm about to do it. Shit. Okay, hold on. Why am I not getting the slide? Hold on. That was close. I got it. Single segment, boys. We're still alive.
So yes, this trick is for that exact reason. This trick is very dangerous in the aspect that if you fail that and fall or die, obviously dying, but if you fall to the bottom of that room,
your run's dead for sure. It's a
your run is
5-minute
dead.
plus time loss.
Right, you'd have to end up collecting the things that we're hoping to skip here, which are
So-
massive time losses in an 80% run.
Might have shot that early. So, we loaded the second layer of this room. I didn't get the, whatchamacallit. I got the one star unlock. So, basically, this Chozo Ghost fight loads, and you have to kill these Chozo Ghosts to unlock the Artifact of Wild. So, normally, again, you're supposed to have Spider Ball and Super Missiles, which would make this fight a lot faster, but we're actually not going to collect Super Missiles this run.
Also, you didn't notice that he's actually stun locking these ghosts.
Yeah, I try to wait for them to
Right.
immediately, like, run away, and they'll disappear normally. But I can actually just stun lock. Okay, he's right here. Oh, I
Yeah,
hit
it's
him,
a
cool.
very tight window of time, actually. Right as the ghost starts to move after you've shot him, you have an opportunity to hit it again, and it'll just kind of stun lock him in place. I recently learned, actually, that you can get a ghost death animation where if you do it to
I
them
got that
while they're
yesterday.
in the air, they won't die right away, and this can be really unfortunate
This fight's...
if
eh.
it happens on the last ghost.
Yeah, now it's good if he, like... Oh, he died to one shot. My god. That's crazy.
I didn't know what caused that, actually, until just recently. Somebody told me it's when they die in the air.
Really? I thought it was, like, a certain frame of their, like, idle animation or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, I did too. But yeah, it's if you stun lock them all 4 times and then your last one hits them while it's in the air, apparently.
Is there a desync between my audio and me? I mean, mic depth? I could try to reset it if needed. Normally my stream should be pretty synced. So this run's still alive. We got early wild, which is I'm very happy. It's
Shout
not
out
a
to
hard
Bats.
trick to do, but again, it's punishing. If you fail it, your run's dead.
Yeah, shoutouts for not failing that.
Game audio and the gameplay. Okay. Okay, it's up. I mean, it's up to you. Like, My God. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be in Morph Ball. What am I doing? Again, I'm in Marathon Road, so I'm just autopiloting like crazy. So rolling through this tunnel's faster. There's nothing really to dash off of. Nerves, dude. I thought I wouldn't have him, but I guess I still have sweaty palms. So normally, or not normally, but I think people expected you to like have super missiles to blow up that one sort of pillar in the cave here that houses a Chozo artifact, but 2 missiles will just blow it up. I think normally, you know, you don't know what's in there, so then you're expected to have X-ray visor. Maybe you get the hint from the Chozo artifact temple that gives you all the hints as to where the artifacts are.
Oh, is that how you're supposed to know that?
I don't know. Well, you can see the artifact with X-ray visor. So,
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. I always just figured it was like totally something
Yeah.
they just expected you to find or figure out on your own or something.
So the reason we have various suit to begin with is that Magmore Caverns is sort of the Norfair of this game, like a very super hot like area. So you take heat damage without it, pretty significantly actually. You're not expected to be able to go through here and live. Normally, there's ways around it. So by doing a slope jump or what's classically known as a ghetto jump, You gain certain height off of slopes if you just jump on them. I can jump on that hill there and then just
Bash,
climb
am
around the
I
room.
mistaken by saying that your new category you came up with incorporates VMR or no?
So I don't know if it's really a new category, just something no one was really interested in, but I was talking to another guy, the weakest link. I'm also getting this energy tank for safety. It makes the late game a lot more consistent if I get this tank and have an extra tank in on my inventory.
Also,
So yeah, there's another category I was mentioning. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to continue or? I
No,
mean, I was about to go on a
ahead.
tangent, so.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, so Magmore kind of is just sort of a hub area. It connects a lot of different areas in the game. But yeah, so I was saying, normally you're expected to have various to go here and survive. If you have a minimum of 3 energy tanks and amazing skill, or if you have like 4 or more and can go fast enough, you can go through the Talon elevator. Also, I'm waiting out this cutscene to save on in-game time. It repositions Samus a little closer to where I want to dash off of. Like this.
Small IGT time save, but
Yeah.
that's what we worry about in the Prime community. is
Yeah, who
IGT.
knows when we'll ever switch to RTA.
Hopefully
I
never.
never shot that platform. So if you scan dash off there, you can just immediately fly all across the room and go immediately here. So this skips having to unlock another room and go around. You can just go straight to this room. So we're collecting Boost Ball, and after collecting Boost Ball, the game expects you to go back and then get Space Jump Boots. So that's when in the sequence you get the second jump. But since we got it, it saves us from having to backtrack all the way. And then we can also get just Boost Ball quicker.
Well, Boost Ball has like a absolutely ludicrous speed cap, if any, I believe. So it does make you go significantly faster.
I did not want to fall down there. I'm just going to take the safe strat and just jump up these platforms. So Boost Ball is the fastest form of travel in the game. You'll see me boosting quite a few places where I'm in Morph Ball. Knowing when to morph is important because it's a second where you just have no control over what you're doing. Waiting for Samus to either morph into a ball or unmorph back into her normal self. I was expecting to do that in place. So then we can scan dash off this guy. And just keep our speed. And then I can use this guy. That guy's on a cycle, so if you go fast enough, he'll be out there for you to lock onto him. Otherwise, he'll like retreat into like a wall. You can't really lock onto him. That snow cone dude. Icicle buddy. Oh, add Boost Ball. What am I doing? So much for getting Boost Ball and not actually going fast with it.
21% muscle memory kicking in there.
I don't know, man. So, oh shoot, I fell off. No, just kidding. So this cutscene plays after you get Boost Ball.
So coming up here, you're gonna see the first instance of something that we like to call the infinite speed glitch. I won't give away too much because he's not there yet, but this is
Yeah, I have
the
to do a
first
boss
time
fight
you will
first.
see this.
So the faster form of this is you can go out of bounds, but and then sort of wall crawl through this entire area, and then skip a boss fight. Since I'm doing this inbounds, it's not that much slower. It's about, well, it still is a decent amount slower. It's like 25 to 35 seconds.
Actually, the new route that we used today was actually implemented because of this wall crawl. Essentially, we call it the double IS route. It was found to be faster than the old one, IGT, to be honest. But this was the big.
And it
wall
skips
crawl
having to jump over
that
bars.
caused it to happen.
What's funny is this route was found because someone was too lazy to do what's called bar skip. It was used in the earlier route to go into Phazon Mines, one of the last areas in the game, earlier than intended. So double IS, you can just you skip having to go through mines the normal way, which is a little bit irritating if you can't get bar skip fast. And it also makes the route just considerably like better for beginners too, as a side effect. So this is the Shigoth boss fight. This should be pretty quick if I can do this right. Okay, this one guy should be... He's like staying in place, what the heck? I have plenty of missiles. Sort of fine there. Oh, took some damage though.
Normally that second baby Shigoth will run at you. For some reason, he didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was expecting that for sure. Okay, so this Sheegoth we can quick kill if I do this right. If you lay a bomb like right next to where its like chest is, it's weird. You have to lay it in a certain spot. It'll be kind of stunned to this animation where it'll take extra damage.
I believe the minimum is actually 3 missiles. If
4,
you
I think.
Lay, no, literally it is 3. I'm pretty sure. If you
Okay, I
do
can't
all
do this
3
right.
bombs, yeah.
Hold on, let me I can't do this, dude. He can't. What the f? I can't do this fight, dude. There we go. Normally you just immediately get him in its stun animation and just kill him, but I screwed up. So get wave beam.
And now we are going to see this
the
infinite speed glitch here.
This is
that
the
I was
second
talking
biggest.
about.
This is the second big sequence break in this run. It's such a big sequence break actually that it
And it's
involves
funny that
sitting in
it's a sequence
place,
break.
spinning in
And it's funny
place.
that it's funny that we call this that this was deemed to be faster
Yeah.
than anything else, because what you're
Oh,
gonna
this
see
isn't
is him sitting in place for literally a full minute here.
There we go. That should be better.
What's happening is that the game is not able. He's
this
going
right?
faster and faster, and
No,
the
this
game
isn't right.
eventually doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
so
hold
it
on.
sets his
I
speed
screwed it
to, like
up.
infinite.
Normally it's not that bad. Okay, this should be fine.
The first time I ever did this, I accidentally broke one of those crates, and
Yeah.
so it didn't work.
I don't think I'm getting it. This is weird. I normally get this first try. This is extremely weird. Time loss. Okay. Okay, I'm not even locked on the right thing. This should be fine. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so you'll sort of see the morph ball start to slow down a bit. It's sort of an effect of the frame rate, making it look like it's slowing down. If it is, I don't know if it is. Is it actually slowing down? Am I getting this at all?
Right now, according to my stream, it does not look like it.
What the heck, dude? I'm screwing up. Did I even shoot this door? I never shot the door. I would have almost soft locked. So good thing.
yeah,
I think it was warning me that I was about to soft
It was
lock the game.
literally warning you not to do that yet because you had not shot the door. That's this game normally isn't nice to you, but it was just being nice to you.
Okay,
This
should be
game's
good.
usually extremely punishing, actually. So
Okay, we're good. So now
and
the
he
morph
gets it
ball's starting to
first
slow
try,
down.
see? He gets a first try. Go figure.
Yeah, first try. Let's go.
After shooting the door, of
Yeah, good
course.
thing my
making
estimate
sure
was so-
that you weren't gonna soft lock.
Yeah. This is the thing that kills my estimate. So the
So
the
you
morph ball is
see
sort
what-
of stuttering in place. It's actually not stuttering. It's going really, really fast. It's
Infinitely
rotating
In
fast.
fact.
So it takes about 50 seconds of in-game time, but for some reason the frame rate just slows to a crawl. So it'll take about a minute 30 seconds, but it's okay. We're actually going fast. It's okay. We're going fast.
The next thing you're gonna see is Samus lose the shell of her morph ball. Actually, after 50 seconds here.
Yeah.
This puts the game in an extremely weird state.
Yeah,
Without really getting too deep into the physics, essentially, you're able to touch like every loadable, like every trigger that the game has in that room.
It places
at
you
one
everywhere
time.
at once at the same time,
Right.
basically. And then most items you can hit, and then it'll also sometimes load rooms, and that might crash the game. So this is a really finicky trick that's only used in a couple of areas.
And
So,
so whatever you do, do not unmorph unless
Yeah.
you want to see a really pretty show.
Well, I actually will unmorph because I can cancel the what's called light show. So what happens is when IS is activated, and you'll see it in just a bit here, right here. So now it's activated. The morph ball shell goes away. Getting this bomb jump here. So now if I boost out of infinite speed, it'll sort of place me everywhere at once. It'll even have me collide with enemies. So if you boost into a wall or any sort of like slope, you sort of it places you everywhere at once, and so I'm able to get this artifact that's otherwise hidden behind this wall here, super early. So, and then the side effect of infinite speed is if you unmorph, what happens is the game sets two values, at least two values to what's called not a number. It doesn't know how to actually handle the number, so it sets it to not a number or nan. One of these is the morph ball's angular momentum, which is what makes infinite speed possible. The other one is what's called the game's like camera bobber, where it looks like, you know, Samus is just looking around. And what happens is you can't see anything. I'll actually show you guys how it looks if I can get some cool lights. Some cool like rays of light will show by doing this. And so yeah, so there's just lights, and otherwise the game's
As
soft
long
locked.
as he steps into either an elevator or a save station, it's safe because the game will then
It'll
take
reset the
back out of it.
values.
Right. However, if there is no save station or elevator nearby,
There's a couple of places
No.
where you can get rid of it from Morph Ball, but you still have to find a save station or a cutscene.
right, and I mean, it will never go away if you don't find one of the two, and it makes everything extremely challenging to do if you don't have, if there isn't one nearby. Basically, it's something that you'd reset over, but if you're determined enough, you can, work your way to a save station or something, but it's not worth it usually.
I don't know why R jumped into that, or R dashed into that. So there's these Chozo artifacts. There's 12 of them in the run, and it's kind of tricky. Like, it's annoying. One of the most annoying parts of this game is doing this fetch quest for them because they're just all over the place. But any percent, thankfully, is quite optimized with where you get them. So,
Well, yet again, taking advantage of the dash technique right there.
Yeah.
He actually skipped a puzzle using. You're supposed to have the boost ball, and you're supposed to boost into that little thing that was up on the top of that. It raises a platform that you can use to walk around. But again, thanks to having the technique of dashing, we're able to do things like skip that. And so that's just another example of this dash technique breaking the game and allowing us to collect the artifacts as we go through it instead of having to come back and collect them at the end of the game.
and then Boost Ball lets me just sort of glide through the lava here without much of an issue. So with infinite speed, basically that skips us from having to make a return trip. We're never going to see that side of Phendrana again. In fact, we only visit Phendrana twice this whole run. Basically the first half of it and then the second half, which we call Far Phendrana. So normally you're supposed to come back with Plasma Beam and then melt the ice with Plasma Beam. But since we don't have Plasma Beam, we can just do that instead with Boost Ball. Now you can still enter infinite speed without Boost Ball. It's just you can't really do anything with it that's special. So by having Boost Ball, the infinite speed actually becomes very useful. You also notice that I'm not picking up.
It also actually allows you to collect 2 items at once. So,
Yes.
for example, we said that he skipped a wall crawl there earlier.
An out
to
of
get
bounds
it.
sequence, basically.
Yeah, so that out of bounds sequence actually does something kind of unique. It allows, with infinite speed, it does allow you to actually both collect the wave beam and the artifact of sun at the same time, and actually skip the boss fight alongside of it. So that's one of the another benefit of this infinite speed glitch.
Don't know why I morphed. That was dumb. So we're going back to Chozo Ruins here. We have to collect 3 items. One is the Artifact of Life Giver. It's a bit out of the way, but now that we have Wave Beam, you're also expected to have Boost Ball and Spider Ball. But with Space Jump, you actually don't need Space Jump. You can do another setup that's much harder. But Space Jump makes it a much more free trick to do, or much more free room to sort of go through. Alright, I'm about to save no time at all. Oh, I screwed it up, so I actually lost time. I didn't even shoot the door. There's an instant unmorph you can do if you're in a certain spot next to that door, called the East Unmorph, and it's a meme, and I like it. So back in the Morph Ball room, there's another door up here that requires Wave Beam, but if you jump onto this branch, which I didn't jump on because I suck, and then I can dash off of here and skip Spider Ball completely. It's fantastic. Now you're thinking, well, hey, for those of you that play the game, you're like, hey, Bash, like, it's underwater. Well, that's fine. We don't need gravity suit. In fact, with the slope jump, which lets you gain height off of slopes, it's even more like broken underwater. So by doing that, we can get Life Giver without gravity suit.
Completely intended right there.
And now you're thinking, well, hey, there's still, the crashed frigate. You need gravity suit for that. Well, we're not going there at all. In fact, for quite some time now, you can skip frigate and just not go in. But we have another way
Bash,
in.
What's a grapple beam? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, what is grapple beam?
So there are a few items in this game that you can
hold on.
that you might be saying
Why the branch?
You'll never see him use it. Well, that grapple beam and grab suit are 2 of those. He didn't get the hole in one.
Yeah, I unmorphed for some reason.
Marathon's over. Everybody go home.
Somehow, despite not focusing at all this run, I'm somehow, like... My time loss is there, but it's, like, not that much. Or it's a bit. It's, like, a couple minutes, maybe. Maybe if I keep boosting into these walls, I'll lose even more time. Exactly what I want. So here comes the
we are
second
about
sequence of
second
infinite
and
speed.
Yep.
So it's the same trick. Really works in bounds when you're like nestled between crates and a wall. And here comes the... Oh, I'm too far down.
But this is where shooting that save door earlier becomes significant. As we mentioned, you need either a save station or an elevator to get rid of this infinite speed glitch. And the elevator...
By blowing up that missile door that had the save station, I can go back there with Morph Ball.
He wouldn't be able to open that door if he didn't have
Yeah, you could still like go to the elevator in like main plaza, but it would just
very out of the way.
Very out of the way. It's not worth it. I'm gonna be a little careful because I really don't want him to fall in the lava at this point. So I'm gonna play a little safe here. So even if you get Light Show and accidentally unmorph after getting the power bombs, it's not... I mean, it's still bad. I would still probably like reset, but you can still save it, like in a marathon run. I've had to do that a couple of times in like races. We actually don't lose that much in-game time. It just lags the game to heck and back. If we have time for donations, really, it's just a bit of cleanup here. So, by doing that, we basically get a powerbomb expansion that's behind a wall that you have to use powerbombs to destroy. So now, we've done our third sequence break, and probably one of the biggest, like, new ones of the game. By unmorphing here and remorphing, the camera's scripted to always look in this angle, and so it'll clear out Light Show when you're in Morph Ball. So
I actually love the irony of that sequence break in particular.
Yeah, it's a fantastic sequence break because it means you don't have to go through
using power bomb to pick up a power, or using the sequence break to pick up a power bomb that you're not supposed to be able to get without having power bombs already.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. And we also want to go in this direction anyways because we're on our way to Ice Beam. So again, you need Spider Ball normally. Like we go through labs, pick up Thermal Visor, pick up Spider Ball in the Fendrana Space Pirate Labs, but I got hit by a few streak bats for some reason. That was kind of weird. So now that we saved, we cleared out the Light Show glitch, and we can see again. So at this point, this is where you would do the Ice Beam before Flagra out of bounds, or IBBF AF because it's after Flagra. It is faster than inbounds, but not by much.
Yeah.
And it's easy to lose time in if you mess up anywhere in the wall crawl. So because we did that bomb puzzle earlier before we fought Flagra, we don't have to do it now. So hey, there's a spider track here. We can't go up this, right? Wrong. You can just... There's standable collision up there. I might actually fall down. Come on. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I should take the opportunity... Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this opportunity and grab this energy tank. I've been fine without it, but I'll just grab it now, since I'd rather play it safe. It's a minor time loss to get it. Like, you never know what's going to happen. With what this run's shown me so far, like, anything bad can happen, so... Come on. Oh, get in there, buddy. Let's go. Usually it's a pretty non-issue to go in there. But yeah, that's just...
we're not sure what they were doing when they programmed these spider ball tracks, but
or just a lot of the terrain in general. There's a lot of terrain you can stand on that the game did not intend you to. So by doing that, we can go straight to Ice Beam without a speeder ball. Now, there are a couple of rooms in mines that are extremely hard without Spider Ball, so for safety, I think I will get that. But otherwise, these are pretty easy rooms to do without Spider Ball. So there's yet another Chozo Ghost fight that we have to do without X-Ray Visor and no Super Missiles. So hopefully I can stun lock him and kill him fast enough. Ah, okay. Stun lock. There we go. I shot too early, so the actual charge didn't go through. Okay, I'm gonna save the last shot for later. So what I'm doing here is I'm unlocking this Morph Ball slot. Oh, it didn't even hit him. What the heck? Okay. So by activating this cutscene now, I can overlap when the Chozo statue activates, and then overlap it with the cutscene where it sort of adjusts this like morph ball tunnel that's used to get out of the room. So by overlapping these cutscenes, it saves on, I believe, both RTA and in-game time if you can kill the Chozo Ghost fast enough. Now, if you're doing this out of bounds, you hopefully skip this fight entirely. But, so it's a bit of a time loss if you miss the ghost skip when you're doing the out of bounds method of this room. LV, that's correct with the HUD lag setting. You can use that to recover. I don't need to scan that now, but I kind of just autopiloted, so. So another example of like what you can abuse like the standable collision on, there are these stone toad enemies. You can actually stand on their spines and then do a slope. Oh, I just walked off for no reason. Oh my god. It's a bit narrow collision, but it's not that bad. I'm just being stupid. Here, I'm gonna look down real quick. Really? There we go. So you can slope jump off like their sloped spines and then just slope jump off, and there's Ice Beam. I wait out this cutscene because I want to activate the Ice Beam as soon as possible, and it gets me like a free time save. Mainly for in-game time though, not RTA. So that power bomb we collected is significant. That means we can now go and grab X-Ray Visor and the Artifact of Chozo, which is in the same room. Normally you'd have to go through mines, the Phazon mines, pick up the power bomb like main upgrade, not the expansion, and then come here. So you'd have to do a two-way trip through Phazon mines. But because we got that power bomb, we can just route in X-Ray Visor right now, and then save mines for later after we get Plasma Beam. You need Plasma Beam in order to clear out all the Phazon mines and get to the Omega Pirate, who is one of the last bosses of the game. So by doing this, we can save mines for one trip total, which is nice. Also saves us from having to do...
He actually needs X-Ray and Plasma to beat Omega Pirate, which is...
you don't necessarily need Plasma. Oh yeah, you do need Plasma to reach him, but you definitely need X-Ray just to damage him in particular. But we'll get to that when we actually get to mines. So this will be one of the last missile expansions I get in the run. The room's actually loading right now, so it's a pretty free missile expansion to get. Life Grove takes quite a bit of time to load. Also, this room in particular is like one of the worst rooms in the game. Oh my god, the collision caught me.
We've actually literally nicknamed it Getting Life Grove Tunneled because
I just got it at the end. Did you see that?
Work.
Did you see where I got stuck in the collision? It wouldn't let me like boost straight to the X-ray visor. So I came up short, unfortunately.
Have you ever heard about when that happened to me and I got light show from it?
Are you serious? That's insane.
I boosted through that tunnel. I got stuck on the door as it was opening, and I unmorphed to collect the X-ray, and I got light show from it. Yes. It was a very strange occurrence.
So technically, X-ray visor is the only required visor in the game. While thermal helps in some areas, like especially if you play casually, you don't need the thermal visor in order for like hitboxes to be active or anything. But for the case of X-ray visor, I don't know why I was like all the way out here. It's weird. So for the case of X-ray visor, you do. It's because of Omega Pirate. He cannot be damaged without the X-ray visor actually being equipped.
Now note that
we have to come back here anyways.
Thermal in this run, basically not because he needs it, but because the final boss is much easier and faster with thermal visor, and it's not out of our way at all to get it. So he will be getting it. This is a great example of both standable collision and R jumping right there to get out of that room. Normally, you'd have to walk all the way around a room, activate a ghost fight 3 different ghosts, and it's just a big old time loss. By doing a slightly challenging R jump, after standing on some collision that you're not supposed to stand on or doesn't look like you are, he's able to get out of that room right there.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Avoids the Chozo Ghost fight up there too, although you have to fight them in 21%. Unless you'd, like, I guess, go completely out of bounds. I think it's still faster to actually fight them inbounds.
Well, the going out of bounds thing is just that there's only like, I believe maybe Tomlu might be like the only person who's ever done that UBJ, but it's like excruciatingly challenging.
Yeah.
And I mean, not even worth anybody's time at all. It's so hard.
So we're gonna head our way back to Magmore Caverns. We need to make our way to Phendrana Drifts and then eventually Mines. But Magmore Caverns has Plasma Beam, which is the last beam we need, and it's very important for the late game. It's not only the best beam in the game, it does a lot of damage, especially charge. You can like one-shot.
It's extremely broken, yeah. With the charge shot, the one thing that they did to try and balance it is that the plasma beam has horrible range when not charged, but charge beam actually even got rid of that little defect by giving it pretty much unlimited range. So not only is it seriously
I got the door
powerful,
shot. Let's go. Also, that's the
Yeah,
last
also
missile expansion we'll be getting this run. There's an extra one we could get, but I'm not gonna try to get it because there's no point to. So I am now finishing the run with 30 missiles. You need 25 for the run. But oh, I got knocked. Wow, I got knocked all the way back. That's pretty bad. I was trying to do what's called a bunny hop with the R jump. What R jumping is it's an extension of the L jump. What happens is, in a nutshell, the R jump allows you to jump farther distances, but you have less control over where your jump goes. Whereas L jumping, you have complete control.
Well, what happens is when you press R, you basically lose all control over Samus. Samus's ability to, or your ability to control where Samus is going. Once you've pressed R, there's nothing you can do to control where Samus's movement is. But it also allows you to string momentum together to not lose momentum, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And then by bunny hopping off the ground, you can keep your momentum from the jump.
Or if you do it within one frame, you can actually gain momentum.
Oh yeah, that's true. So we're heading back down here. That missile I collected earlier, you can get now. I think that's actually the cool missile method. I think it's actually technically faster to do it here, but I don't know how much faster it is.
Well,
I went
it's
past
the
the elevator.
It's the standard. It's the standard in Metroid Prime, right? 8 seconds.
So now basically this is like the halfway point of the run, and that's actually kind of fitting because now this is where we go to like the halfway point of like all the other areas of the game, but basically all phase-on mines. So this is a room you normally need Spider Ball for to traverse, but with a well-timed R jump or a scan dash, depending on what your method is. I do the baby R jump strat. There's another R jump you can do that's faster, but it's a lot harder, and I probably need to learn it. I probably have no excuse not to learn it at this point.
You can actually just L jump it, but then the R jump I'm saying, well, it depends. Are you talking about the bunny hop R jump or the one from the rock? You can do both.
The one across Twin Fires Tunnel from the right side. But yeah, I guess from the rock in a sense.
You can do it from the rock, but the bunny hop, I would recommend, if you're going to learn one, I would do the bunny hop.
So this is Geothermal Core. It's like the biggest room in Magmore Caverns. Houses the Plasma Beam, has a puzzle that leads to it. Normally you need Grapple Beam and Spider Ball to get it, but with a nice ghetto jump here that I'm somehow failing, that was weird. Or you can just jump off a rock as a backup. You just skip Grapple Beam and can just immediately boost into these.
What's a Grapple Beam?
Yeah, what is Grapple Beam? It's some weird, the best beam in the game actually. I heard it does like a lot of damage. You can't charge it though, which is kind of annoying. So this room has like a two-part puzzle to it. One is activating these platforms to be able to go up to the roof. There's a bomb slot at the top that I have to hit in order to like sort of unlock the upper half of this room.
And for whatever reason, that last of the three actually takes forever to
Yeah, it's
raise.
weird. It has like some weird friction to it where you have to boost like twice as much as you need to. I'm sure it's fast enough with like a task, like well-timed boost ball. So yeah, there's this, this whole spider track that you have to kind of traverse. It's pretty cool instance of the game. You can just sort of jump to the edge and then, oh, that was close. I don't know. So by ghetto jumping or slope jumping off of this guy here that I'm just failing, hold on, I'm gonna realign myself. There we go, that should be good. There we go. I can just jump on these guys and then just jump all the way to the end. And that is Plasma Beam. Oh, I see, Axel. Thanks. Got a bunch of Prime people in here. Not sure how many memes they've done earlier on in the run, but I haven't seen any Master 88 quotes yet, so I'm a bit disappointed. Oh, nice. I didn't get the fall down. Like,
well, he would be proud. One thing I'll say about Master 88 is he would be proud that you're not doing the out of bounds, at least.
Yeah, I personally prefer much more speedruns without use secret worlds. So basically we're done with Magmore. There's nothing else we really need here. And then we can just, again, slope jump and skip having to go around all the way around this room. So here comes our second trip through Phendrana. There's we're mainly coming here for artifacts and nothing else. And then Thermal Visor. If you were doing like an RTA run, which none of us do because everyone hates RTA in the Prime community, it would actually be slow to get Thermal Visor. It would take like 20 to 30 seconds depending on how fast you scan them. But because there's just cutscenes that play, you can actually like sort of do a 1, 2, 3 punch like all these like computer terminals that you have to scan in order to unlock it. Also, skipping the spider ball again.
And seeing as we literally walk right by it, there's virtually no reason to skip it.
Yeah, for in-game time, you lose like no time whatsoever, almost. It's such an insignificant amount of time. So. But first we're gonna go through Far Phendrana. Oh, I almost made that. Let's try that again. Okay, whatever. I'll just do the bomb. If you're precise enough with your timing, you can boost up walls, and it skips having to lay a bomb and waiting for it to explode. So then you can dash up here, and this also skips grapple beam. Even if you fall down, you can make it.
As you can see, it's an extremely useful item.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously good item. It's better NSJ, but there's skips for it. So I kill these flying pirates because they're a pain in the butt. By jumping on this bridge here, I can jump to this tree and fall down, because that's what happens in Prime when you're not precise. What the heck? Right, I'm just going to R-jump across, because I'll at least be able to land on it. There we go. And then by doing a slope jump off the tree, I can climb it, again, skipping grapple beam. Normally, I would just go in and grab this artifact and leave, but for just consistency, I'm going to grab this extra power bomb expansion. This would be another power bomb expansion you can grab in the run.
This is what way earlier I mentioned that I was talking about Metroid Prime's drops. So this is actually the one of the few instances during the 8% run here where
luck is actually a factor.
If you don't collect that power bomb, while it is a low chance of it happening, you don't get a power bomb. If you don't get a power bomb here coming up in Control Tower after collecting the artifact of Elder, you actually pretty much can't continue through the run, so it does kill the run. It is a rare instance that you don't get it, so we usually do skip that one, but up for safety's sake, it's definitely better to pick it up.
I might fall down here. Nope, I didn't. Cool. And then dashing off that glider allows you to just go across the room again. Scan dashing is such a fantastic trick. It's only available in the...
You get hit by the Hunter Metroid. You're gonna need to tell me your secrets there. I literally always get hit by that Hunter Metroid.
Yeah, I just, okay, these Slicker Bats are being annoying. So now we're entering Pirate Labs, but as you can tell, we're going in backwards if you've played this game. Normally you're supposed to go in through the other side after you get Boost Ball and Wave Beam. But, see, there's Thermal Visor right there. I'm gonna kill this guy's annoying. So by doing labs backwards, it allows us to do it in one trick. We also skip a bunch of rooms that we don't need to go to. In 100%, it's nice because Super Missile lies here, and it's a fantastic offensive weapon. Does a lot of damage. You need it to get wild normally, along with Spider Ball. So there's a weird quirk with this room right here, Research Lab Aether. You can't go too fast into this room. I'm waiting for a space pirate to break glass right now, and he did. His name's Edward. Hi, Edward. And then, yeah, so basically I dashed into this cutscene trigger. Normally you're supposed to come in this room from the door that's behind me, and you're supposed to, this is like the first Metroid you encounter, and it's a big moment. It's like, whoa, Metroids exist still? What the heck? You fight it, and then that sort of alerts the space pirates, and then he breaks the glass, and then you can go into the bottom of the room that I was just in. So the Pirate Labs are where you would try to get a power bomb refill if you didn't get that extra power bomb expansion. And you have a relatively high chance of getting it. I think it's like a 1 in 7 chance each. And you have plenty of spots that you can grab it, but it still is technically a luck factor. You know, the Prime 1 is pretty bad in terms of drop rates. It's completely random. Now, while we have Plasma Beam, this is another sequence break to get an artifact. You can just jump over that wall and blow up that container with a missile. Normally, what you have to do is go into one of these towers, melt this frosted over window with the plasma beam to melt it, and then you shoot a missile through the opening.
That shot with the missile, while Bash made it look relatively free.
It's a bit tricky.
It is practice. I mean, that's one of those things where if you pick up this game and start running it, you'll find out real quick just how touchy this game is. That's one of those things that you can sit there and miss that missile over and over again and lose a lot of time.
You also have to be careful with trying to get out of that ramp, because if you hit the other side of the room, there's a fight trigger that happens where you fight a bunch of space pirates and it's slow and awful and it loses a bunch of time, so you definitely don't want to go for it. This energy tank you don't have to get, but if you're low on health, it's right there. It's not a big time loss at all. Also, I'm like hitting walls for no reason. Yeah, and that's basically our trip through labs. Again, one trip only, just to get an artifact and then thermal visor. So because all these cutscenes happen, I can just sort of fall down and scan these terminals. There's 3 you have to actually scan to unlock them. And this other one will be on my left. So again, for in-game time, it's pretty fast. Now, if this is RTA, it's better to skip it, unless you take a... It makes the Metroid Prime final boss, like, a lot more consistent, but... It also helps to see in, like, some dark rooms, but that's kind of it. Now, I need Ice Beam to get out, but, you have sort of a 1-frame window to buffer an input after you get these item collections, and so I can do that and abuse it to switch to Ice Beam as this cutscene plays. It's pretty nice. I don't know why I scanned dash, that was kind of weird. Again, my autopiloting is just really bad today. And that's it for our second Phendrana trip. We have all the artifacts we need. Oh, shoot, okay. This jump's a little bit finicky. You can use an R jump to get across, but if you fall down, it's a pretty bad time loss. If you fall, like, all the way in the water. Also, this energy tank's pretty free.
The reason Frozen Pike is my favorite room in the game.
Yeah, it's really... This room is so much better with Space Jump, though. Alright, so coming up Spider Ball. We need it for a certain couple rooms in mines. Oh, shoot, I went in the elevator. I guess we're not going to fight him this time around, guys. Sorry.
That's alright.
Yeah, Thardis is a pretty interesting boss casually.
It'll make for some a nice display of some interesting sequence breaking coming up in the mines. So
yeah, it's crazy. Like, there's like 2 rooms that are really difficult without Spider Ball in this whole game for any percent for this particular route, and it's like ridiculous.
I'd say, to be fair, 3, because MQA was a lot.
Oh, MQA is pretty dumb too. It's not that bad. It's just annoying. So because we have this power bomb, we can enter mines, and because we have power bombs for the X-ray visor, we can now enter mines with everything we need to complete it. God, I love this Fusion Various suit. It's so ugly, but it's fantastic. So despite how dumb this run is, this is very enjoyable. I haven't really fallen down anywhere that's like been significant, so I'm pretty happy. But Mines can change all of that. Mines is a very technical... I don't know why I morphed. That was dumb. Mines is a pretty big run killer. It's very dangerous. Lots of very powerful enemies here. These turrets are actually upgraded forms of the normal turrets you see. There's these space pirates called Pirate Troopers that are based off of like your beam weapons, and they do like 10 damage per shot. Unlike other Metroid games like the side-scrollers, Various Suit only reduces like damage by 10%.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Then Gravity is what, 25 or something?
Gravity's only 20, but then once you get Phase on Suit, it becomes 50%, so then
yeah, 50%.
really start to feel overpowered. Okay, so you can actually stay on this Elite Pirate. I actually got it. Not quite, never mind. Okay, I keep hitting this part of the, oh my god. There we go. So you can actually stand on the Elite Pirate, funny enough, and then just skip the fight. There's another backup that's not that much slower. If anything, it's probably... It's like barely slower, if even slower at all. And a lot more consistent. And that lets us just skip the fight.
Vent Shaft.
Yeah, Vent Shaft is... it's the bane of my existence right now. For
shout out to Bash for finally getting Vent Shaft the other day.
Yeah, Vent Shaft is a bomb jump you have to do without Boost Ball. Normally you boost up the half pipe to get through it. But yeah, just again, lots of... Wow, actually... Yeah. So, I avoided triggering the space pirates there. by standing on the computer terminals. It's quite nice, actually. We have 5 also, these elite pirates are kind of just broken. Basically what happens is when they begin the fight, they sort of look for you, and will look either to the right or left to actually find you, and then their AI will just remain inactive until that happens. Why am I morphing for no reason? So we have X-ray visor for this fight. This is the cloak drone. I completely missed my plasma shot. But with X-ray visor, you can lock onto him. You can't scan him or anything to actually see him, so you have to rely on like shooting
however,
him.
that in the game that you can see him with X-ray visor, seeing as when you come through this area in the game originally as intended, you're not supposed to have X-ray visor.
Yeah,
so
hopefully you have
it is
like the
interesting
wave buster, which we don't have. Also, this maze is probably pretty bad. I can tell this is already bad.
This maze is actually completely random.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck?
Way
Where am
you
I
go
going?
through it,
Oh, there we go.
there's what 300 I want to say.
There's 300 possible
different
mazes, and they can vary from 15 and 55 squares. Ideally, you want fewer squares to travel, but this is probably close to 50 squares. Or yeah, this is like 40-something squares, I think. So pretty awful. But that's our main
Claris,
car bomb pickup.
A Prime Hunter known as Claris did actually create a program that some people use called Maze Finder. It does allow you to basically see what maze you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. It's kind of crazy. Like Claris had to generate like all 300 mazes, and it's based off of like 3 squares.
She had to load this maze every time to find all of them, basically, to make sure she got all of them.
So here comes Lower Mines again, one of the more dangerous parts of the run. Probably the most dangerous until you get Phazon Suit. It's easy to die. So it's kind of nice having, again, 4 energy tanks worth of health to work with here. If you're really fast, you only have 2 energy tanks. So this is the first more difficult room that you have to skip Spider Ball for.
Yeah, Spider Ball skip.
Called Metroid Quarantine A. All the rooms have labels, so this is just, that's why we call them that, because the actual developers, Retro, do that. So I'm going to freeze this Metroid in place. This is just to traverse the pit faster. You can just jump on some invisible platforms that you can see with X-ray visor. So there's a spider track here, but there's a setup we can do that's actually not that bad. It's a bit difficult to learn. So I'm going to destroy this wall with a power bomb. I might kill this other Metroid and see that. Okay, he's not going to die. I could have used him actually to dash, but this looks good. There we go. So by jumping onto this rafter with a slope jump, I can then scan dash off this missile expansion and cross the room.
That slope jump actually took me a long time to learn. That was a pretty tough one.
I definitely had some trouble learning this, but it's a lot better for me now. Basically, I just shoot the wall until I can shoot past the wall, and then I can get the ghetto jump pretty fast, or it's called slope jump. I keep saying ghetto and slope jump like interchangeably. You can just stand on that platform, it doesn't save time.
The OG here.
Yeah, now here's the part of Lower Mines that requires Plasma Beam to actually go through. Let's see if he drops anything good. I should have killed him with Ice Beam and missiles, but if he has missiles, okay, he doesn't. So this is Fungal Hall A, has 100 Metroids here that die to missiles pretty easily. Ice Beam and missiles kill all Metroids fast, except for the Fission Metroids, who are kind of suck. So this
you
is
only
pretty
find,
good.
I believe, unless you were playing the EU version of this game, I think you only see him twice, or
Also,
maybe only once.
There's like one last really difficult out-of-bounds sequence you can do to get this artifact in here early. We're going to backtrack into this room later with Phazon Suit. So this is the one room I actually use Thermal Visor in, it just helps to see things easier. I should have killed that Metroid. This is pretty bad. I fell down. It's not that big of a deal if you fall down in that room, because you can just slope jump back up to the mushroom easier. It's just the Metroids can be annoying. Now, this room's dangerous. There are 4 pirates in here, and... Okay, I got it. Sweet. 4. Okay, I got it. Sweet. By beating the space pirates to the punch, I don't have to worry about them shooting me. I need to save here. That was really fast. If you, like, fail that jump, you have, like, 4 space pirates shooting at you, and they do 10 damage each, which will just completely wither your health away unless you're able to dodge them. And
seeing as you're about to fight a Mega Pirate, it's...
Yeah, having health for a Mega Pirate is really crucial. You can skip the space pirate troopers he spawns, but it's just there's a lot of potential to get hit in that fight.
No, this fight is actually This is going to be one of those things where if you're casual, or if you've played the game before, or played this game casually,
Okay, I have enough
you're going to
missiles
notice that this fight is extremely different.
This fight's really quick.
Basically, we've figured out ways to what we call one cycle this boss.
Yeah, I start
meaning
I start the
everything
fight
is
to his
covered.
side because I'm not in his field of view. So now he's just sort of looking for me, like any other elite pirate.
And since he's killing his armor plates right now, the goal of him one cycling this boss is going to be for him to not get his armor plates back, basically. And we've learned all the different manipulations that this boss has to kind of.
I also got Trooper Skip, which is fantastic.
Like
So by blaying a power bomb right as he's about to call the space pirates, you can actually get him to sort of disappear faster, and it also skips him summoning space pirates that you have to sort of deal with. So now this fight's a lot more safe.
Which actually, if those pirates drop, it can be very challenging to.
Depending on which
one-cycle
pirates you get.
monster.
If you get plasma or ice pirates, they're really easy to kill, and you don't have to worry about him. So by setting up these plasma shots, I can do a bunch of damage. Omega Pirate actually only has like 600 health, and then laying a power bomb here, he will die immediately. Textbook, let's go.
Now this power bomb needs to be relatively well timed. We use a cube.
I wait for his
when we
laugh
hear
to
him
start.
laughing.
So that was basically just a really good power. That was a really good
That
fight.
was a very good power.
Everything
very good
everything went
fight.
right in that fight, and that was really good. So
Yes, that was excellent.
we get the Phazon suit out of it, except it looks like Gravity suit at this point. Right about now. I kind of spoiled it, I'm sorry. So the game sort of just displays suit +1, and because we didn't get Gravity suit, it just displays it. So we do get to see Gravity suit, just not very much of it. Or not for very long. Explaining the Omega Pirate fight's really bad, just because there's a lot to explain.
The more, I mean, I could go and I could.
I didn't even explain the part where, like, yep, why I positioned myself the way I did. Basically, like, he'll never appear in the same pool twice, and he'll always be in the pool that's far enough away from you. It's kind of crazy. There's a lot that goes into that fight, especially in low percent.
He's firing his charge shots with that boss as soon as his charge beam is done charging, because essentially he's also on a timer. And if he takes too long to fire his charge beam shots,
he regenerates his armor plates, and that's when he's in X-ray visor mode, where you have to view him with the X-ray visor in order for him to take damage. So if you don't kill him fast enough, he'll just respawn.
That goes into that fight.
But basically, we did it fast, and that's what's important. So now we're backtracking for Artifact of Newborn. There is, again, an out-of-bounds sequence you can do called Early Newborn. That's one of the newest tricks found for this run, actually. That saves about, I think, 30 seconds or 45 seconds almost. Yeah. Maybe not that much. It's a decently significant time though, time save. But it's extremely hard. It's easy to soft lock, and another big run killer. But it saves you from having to come back to this room later. Dude, I can't believe this run's gonna be like sequel segment. That's pretty crazy.
Yes, now that he's finished the Omega Pirate fight, it is pretty. The last truly
like dangerous part of the run's over.
Thing is pretty much it's pretty much
extremely
done.
hard to die. I'm gonna do the same strat that I did with the pirates, except there's Metroids in here. But it's pretty. This is much easier with the Metroids because
you have more time.
They're a lot more slower. Yeah, they're much more slowly. Like they move around slower, and it's easy to avoid them.
And you're not getting shot at.
Yeah, that's also really good too. So both of those dashes went pretty well. I was a little slow going to the Metroids in that second pass, but whatever. So we still have one more instance where we need a bunch of missiles. Huh?
I said, and now we're going to be leaving the mines. So
my god, I fell down. We're not leaving just yet. I just took like a 20-second loss. I hit a thing. I didn't bend my dash backwards enough.
Oh, I see that.
Basically, I'm just dumb. This is why I suck at the game.
So we're almost leaving the mines.
We're almost leaving, guys. Dude, we're gonna have 6 energy tanks. This is ridiculous.
So now, basically, because we've been collecting artifacts throughout the course of the run instead of having to backtrack for them, we're now actually heading to final bosses now.
Yeah, normally when you play casually, you probably haven't run to that many artifacts, and so this is where the sort of artifact hunt begins. You have everything else to beat the game, you just need to unlock the last level. So I'm gonna climb back up to this room.
I believe Retro's intention there was that they want. You've been spending the game collecting all these really, BA items, and they kind of wanted to like give you a reason to go around and use them, kind of thing. So, oh, nice. We got the climb.
Yeah. All right. So coming up, we're going back in this room again. As you can see, the elite pirate's back in his tank. He reassembled it. He's like, sorry, I didn't mean to break it. So I'm gonna skip this guy, and I did. There's a really big like trigger that's where you activate the fight activates. It's like a big rectangle. Kind of sucks. But oh, I actually need these power bombs. So I need one power bomb for an upcoming artifact. Actually, the last major like source of time lost in this run that's significant. So coming up are the 2 spiderless chefs. It's intentional that I skip Thardis.
Yes, these are
These are the 2 hardest rooms without spider ball to do.
Yeah, this is the reason a lot of newer runners actually will collect a spider ball. These runes are pretty notorious to learn.
The guy didn't die for some reason. So by setting myself up in this little nook here, I can set up what's called a BSJ.
Really, the only time that you see them in this game, actually.
Yeah, BSJs basically abuse what's called instant unmorph. What happens is if you place like some sort of obstacle in between you and the camera while in morph ball. Okay, hold on. Let me shut up for a second so I can actually do this.
Serious time here.
It's not that hard. There we go. So that piece of collision I jumped on is actually very small. It's hard to land on that guy. And I can just jump sort of on the side of the spider track. Oh, I saved that. Wow, I can't believe I saved that. Nice, cool. So that was second try, or third try. That's the harder of the 2 shafts to do. There's one that's much easier, but there's still like one sort of difficult jump, but I have a setup for it that makes it a lot more consistent. As long as I like jump to it correctly. I walked off. That was dumb.
But yeah, basically the game still believes that Samus is standing on collision for 22 frames after you leave the ground for any reason, and because he's using something to block the camera from looking at Samus.
The game still thinks I'm standing in the air for some reason.
Right, and so you're able, so you get something called an instant unmorph, which allows you to jump while you're in the air. Actually,
And I made the second shaft.
Normally, when you fall off of a ledge or like in air for any reason in this game,
so there's a rock wall here that's actually in my way because I'm going through this room backwards. So I'm using the boost ball to go through it backwards. Calvin here is just going to get in my way for no reason. It's taking a lot longer to go through this wall for some reason. There we go. Oh my god. So you actually build up a bit of speed when you're boosting against like collision like that to clip through.
There is an invisible wall there, by the way.
Yeah. So that's why I destroyed it, so I can actually leave it. So you need a power bomb here to actually start this fight. I'm gonna go back to.
Actually, interestingly enough, you need to have collected the main power bombs in this game by fighting that invisible drone, because otherwise this artifact just simply doesn't exist yet.
Hi, Calvin. He's just here shooting me for no reason. He jumped down with me. He wanted to join the fight. So you need 24 missiles to actually kill this elite pirate here. He's like a stronger variant of the elite pirate. Requires, again, 24 missiles. The other ones require 10. So yeah, by doing that, we come back for this our third to last artifact we need this run. Technically, sort of second to last. The actual last artifact is in the artifact temple, which is the gateway to the final level. So.
And also usually the first artifact you collect as a casual player.
Yeah, if you decide to explore a bit. Oh, I need to destroy these guys real quick. So sometimes like the arm cannon takes a while to switch beams, especially when there's a lot of wow. That was bad. This is pretty bad. Calvin's just down there saying hi. That's still not far enough. Oh, I got the damage boost. Never mind. Let's go. Dude, that turret saved me, dude. Let's go. So now is basically where the run is guaranteed to finish relatively quickly. There's still one jump that's a little difficult here, but it's not that bad.
Which jump?
Up through ore processing.
Oh, ore processing, yeah.
Yeah, really it's just one last jump here. I'm using, again, the standable collision.
This is a great example of a room where, again, the standable collision thing is...
Yeah, that thing I stood on is a lot smaller than it actually looks. and you have to land at a certain angle so that you don't slide off of it.
You basically, I mean, this is again.
I do a different strat that makes it all very consistent though. If you hold down R and you slide up that sort of collision, you'll stay on it and it'll take away all of your momentum, so you don't like overshoot it or anything like that.
And that was another room where he skipped the spider ball there. Skipped a huge puzzle that takes forever to solve.
And this is technically the entrance to Phazon Mines. It plays a cutscene saying, "Hey, welcome to Phazon Mines. We have free parking. We validate parking." So with this route, you can go through mines one trip and then like completely backwards. It's very optimal. It's very awesome. And we're at the tail end of the run, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, really, nothing terribly bad has happened. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess I'm on like 111 to 112 pace, probably like 112 to 113. So not bad, not amazing, but a lot of the really bad stuff that could have happened didn't. So this is a single segment run. I'm actually really excited.
Here we're just skipping, going through the room a tiny bit slower by doing an R jump right there.
Yeah.
That last platform.
You can like dash off the seedling there, that blue guy, but I don't know. So we need to go up this elevator. The only other way to get back to Talon is through the frigate, which we don't want to do. There's nothing there that's interesting. But we also have to come back. We have to collect one more Chozo artifact before we actually head to the last level. This Chozo artifact requires Plasma Beam, and there's no way around it besides... now, there is an infinite speed you can do, but it requires it requires doing the IBBF wall crawl, and it's just not optimal, so... We save it for, like, the very last artifact we get. Technically second to last, but... Again, the last artifact's, you know, where we need to go at the end of the run, so... Oh, I already scanned that. Cool. So if you did IBBF, you'd skip that first Chozo Ghost fight that's in this room. You'd have to jump over the fight trigger to hopefully save time, but because we did it inbounds, we have to fight the Chozo Ghost. So I'm gonna do an instant unmorph here. The ghost did not hit me, so that's good. And there we are. So now we're ready to go to the final boss. Again, not very much backtracking this run, which is really great to say, like, in a game that's full of backtracking.
Yeah, the newborn back.
It's kind of a trope for Metroid Prime in general. It's a little bit better in Echoes, and a little bit better in Corruption, but it's still there.
Yeah, backtracking for newborn is probably the most significant one.
What kind of arm cannon? Did you guys see that? Oh my god, that was crazy. That arm cannon animated like I got hit. Oh, I did get hit from the Chozo Ghost, but like, I guess it delayed the animation or something. What the heck? I've never seen that before. I should have stayed in Morph Ball. So we've effectively skipped getting Spider Ball, Grapple Beam, Gravity Suit, and yeah, pretty much those items. You don't have to get them at all for 80%.
And a lot of E-tanks and missiles, but...
We did get more E-tanks than needed. I still have 30 missiles, which is what I usually get during runs. I have about 2 to 3... I have 2 more E-tanks than I normally get in a run, personally. But you can actually finish this game with just 3 energy tanks. It's a lot more dangerous doing it like that, but you get some small time saves on the way.
Well, at least you got one of the door shots.
So basically at this point it's the victory lap. There's still some... oh my god, I got underwater again. I hit the branch. The last one was because I like R-jumped into a flying pirate, and it kept my momentum from the jump, so I just sort of got knocked away. Again, my autopiloting is like just the death of me. So we take a save at the ship to refill on... Now
we're going to see the last use of the slope jump technique used in the game here. Or... I've never practiced, whatchamacallit, ship dash. Basically the fastest way to get there. There we go. So yeah, you'll use a slope jump here to get up.
I normally jump to the left because I'm dumb. So now we're heading to the Artifact Temple. Houses the Impact Crater, the last level. You can actually come to this area as soon as you get missiles, but there's no reason to come here until you've gotten every other artifact, so we'll save it for last. So this is like the longest load in the game, so I'm just gonna type out high with my power beam. Just takes a while to load this room. And yeah, we're at the home stretch here.
Final bosses.
So Ridley is an interesting boss. He has two phases, a flying phase and a ground phase. He has about 2,600 health total, and about 2,000 of it's the flying phase. And it's pretty notorious for being quite slow.
But we have Boost Ball.
Yeah.
And as you'll see in a minute here, Boost Ball is greatly significant for this boss.
Okay, so if I can get this. Got him, cool. So I set him up so that he would fly low enough for me to just hit him with Boost Ball. There's an oversight in this game by the developers where Boost Ball can actually damage things. Ridley's actually one of them. Normally Boost Ball does a lot of damage, so you can like kill enemies and not be stuck on them, particularly with like zoomers and stuff. Those like spiky enemies in the beginning. But it just turns out that yeah, it just turns out that Boost Ball only does about 50,000 damage per frame, and Ridley has again 2,600 health. So his flying phase is basically done, and we have a nice fast ground phase that we can do quite optimally.
The fact that the reason it doesn't actually kill Ridley right away is because split between his two phases.
I got the invincibility thing.
Automatically, you still have to fight the second phase, even though you technically did enough damage to Ridley to kill it. You only did enough damage to get rid of the first phase.
I missed a missile.
And here he's just like kind of in this and stun locking Ridley to keep firing fast.
He basically looks for you. Otherwise, he'll do like this charge attack.
Actually, if you're a casual player of this game, you'll notice he fires missiles a lot faster than you're supposed to be able to. This is because we can cancel the animation of the arm cannon closing, which usually takes like a second and a half or something like that, by holding up on the C stick. This automatically closes the arm cannon and allows you to rapid fire missiles at him.
I can't believe I ran out of missiles that fight. That's crazy. I got so many. I got like 3 of those. Like
you got Ridley in vulnerability.
Yeah.
Twice.
So Ridley has a. If you shoot Ridley at a precise moment, it's like kind of. I don't know if it's random or if it's just weird. He'll be invincible, and you can't actually damage him when he's stunned.
If you shoot too late, it's if you shoot it during that roar. It's if you hit him too late. Yep.
I see. So yeah, that's Ridley. Again, you skip the flying phase by hitting with Boost Ball. It just completely skips the flying phase because he takes all that damage. And then the ground phase is just a really fast part of the fight, so... Very, very, very satisfying to do. He's quite a challenging, interesting boss to do. Okay, no scan dash. So, didn't get that time save. He destroys, like, those, like, totems that surround the portal. But sometimes their scan points will still exist. And so you can scan dash off them.
Well, if he doesn't destroy it during the fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he destroyed
during
like all
the fight.
of them.
Yeah, it's still technically there, even though they're not, like, the animation for it isn't there after the fight ends.
So this is Impact Crater. Pretty small area, but the last area in the game. You need all 12 artifacts to access it and get the Ridley fight. I'm just going to slope jump up here and fall down because I suck. I don't know what happened there.
And also, now we get to see fission Metroids.
Yeah, they're awful. They only exist in this like room and the final fight.
Unless you're playing the EU version of the game, in which you see one other time.
I think they started appearing in the PAL version, and that's what the trilogy version's based on. Is like the Japanese version, which I believe is based off of PAL. So, by doing that one jump, we can just skip through that whole big room, and now we're at the first of the 2 final fights in the game against Metroid Prime. This is the exoskeleton. I also went through that room pretty slowly.
No,
it's a pretty involved fight.
This one has a ton of tech to it that could be explained. Basically, there's four sub-chambers that you'll fight him in.
4 phases, basically.
Right, and each one, after the first one, will basically feature a new beam.
Yeah, so you start with power and wave beam here with this first room, and then the second room introduces ice beam. The third room introduces I didn't switch beam for some reason. So I can tell by what color he is what beam I need to use against him. He's completely invincible to all other beams when he's not in their colors.
And then the fourth one will actually have all 4 of the beams, but
Yeah, but he'll do a bunch of stuff. He can like speed up at will. He'll just change phases for no reason. The other 3 sub-chambers, he'll always stay in the same phase until you actually like damage him enough to make him change colors. Oh my god, Justin. All these bash W's. Okay, that's good. Ice Beam first is pretty good. So this is where the fight starts to like really happen. After he takes enough damage and gets that sort of damage animation, he'll start charging towards you, and we can abuse this to do even more damage to him.
By placing a very, very well aimed charge shot here.
Okay, this is good. I did get the second hit, but by getting ice first and then wave, I can do enough damage so I don't have to use wave beam as much. Wave beam actually is the weakest of the beams when charged. It only does 40 damage. Ice normally does 60, but against Metroid Prime, it does 90. It has a 1.5 times multiplier because it's a Metroid, technically. So Retro's like, yeah, let's just make him weak to Ice Beam. Plasma, when charged, does the most damage. It does 100 damage per charge shot when you fully charge it. And then one thing I try to do here, he spawns some orbs. Orbs are nice because... Oh, I have no missiles. I don't want to get too close to these orbs because they'll do a lot of damage to you, but they also drop refills. I don't have super missiles, so missiles at this point are useless. But they're nice for getting rid of these orbs faster. Otherwise, you want to switch to like Plasma Beam and destroy them that way, because it does a lot of damage. The main sort of exploit you want to do in this fight is abuse his AI by getting close to him. And what happens is, by staying close to him, he will always do this melee attack where he'll just be stuck in the same animation and won't do anything else to you. Makes the fight very consistent and a lot faster if you're able to keep him blocked that way. And it's nice that I'm getting these hits with like Ice Beam. Ice Beam is very slow. Oh, I actually damaged him. That's crazy. So this phase is going to be very fast because I got both ice shots on him. But for some reason... Okay, there we go. So for whatever reason, when he charges at you like this, he'll sort of stay vulnerable. Okay, this is actually good, because waves last after Plasma, and I can skip wave fast enough by damaging him as he charges me. I'm not doing this fight particularly well, so... Okay, good. It's pretty easy to shoot him. Oh, I missed it. That was too early. That's fine though, because I got the one shot at least, so it'll make this phase a bit faster.
Those are rather tight windows.
It's a pretty tight timing to actually like try to hit him.
It's a pretty tight window there.
This fight's a lot faster if you have like super missiles and ice spreader, because they home in, so it's a lot easier to hit him. So that's Subchamber 3. Subchamber 4 is gonna be the same. He'll be able to go through all 4 colors, but he can change to them at will and do stuff like speed up. He'll randomly charge at you. Just a very, very random phase sometimes. So we'll see what happens. If he's nice to us, we can just keep him in this phase.
Yeah, and in this phase, you can actually experience very random occurrence of hyper speed.
Oh, I'm gonna get hit. I can't get any shot on him, damn it. Okay, ice is okay. Ice is pretty fast, so I don't have to worry about. It sucks that I couldn't get the plasma damage on him, but whatever. So by staying close to him, he'll always do that melee attack, and then I can just hit him easier. Okay, good. That's a lot better.
And your ice beam shots are hitting.
Oh, back to plasma. Nice. So he won't always use each color once. He might go back to a certain color if he wants to. So ice plasma is fantastic. Even if he goes to wave beam after this, if I can get enough damage on him with plasma beam. Okay, good. That's really good.
In a marathon,
nice. And he actually switched to wave beam, so
that you're getting this ice plasma, Whenever I fight Metroid Prime, it's like power wave, power wave.
I might take some damage here, but that was okay. It wasn't very good. I'm gonna take damage from that thing.
So now we're down to the last boss, the last final boss of the game, Essence. This boss is extremely challenging. If for newer runners like myself, I would occasionally get like 5 to 6 pulls, but if you're good, you can actually do it in 3 or 2. I believe it's been discovered for it to be faster, for it to be done in 3 though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do 2 strats here. That okay, he's gonna do that there. So by having all these visors, basically what happens is Metroid Prime Essence. This is the second fight. he will sort of phase in between visors, and he'll only be visible by one visor. So, shoot. This might be too close to the corpse. So I'm doing something called attack canceling, where he'll do a set number of attacks, and I cancel him out at the very beginning of the animation, so that he'll just switch to the next attack, up until the point where he'll lay another phase-on pool. By being in the phase-on pool, I can sort of, well, phase-on pool is necessary for me to actually enable phase-on beam, and that's the only weapon that damages him. So by skipping his attack animations, or whatever he decides to do, move around, roar at you, actually use his attack. Oh shoot, that's not good. So because he was too close to the corpse, he just switched phases immediately. But I can still do a third pool by doing another strat called pool canceling, which I'll explain in a bit. I want him to come this way. It's okay if he's over there, but yeah, I should have moved him before I had him try to change phases again. So because he was too close to that like sort of corpse there, the exoskeleton corpse, he won't lay a pool and he'll just change phases, but he'll begin the sort of attack sequence all over again. So it's like a minute or so time loss.
I think it's 6 of them. So basically, when we're attack counseling this class,
we're
hoping
here.
that we skip all 6 of those, or that...
He did it again, dude. What the heck? Sometimes he'll just do whatever he wants. It's stupid. I just lost 2 minutes for no reason. Well, okay, not no reason, but I could have controlled it from that second phase-on pool. So now I'm just losing time. This is really demoralizing if you're like on PB pace, and then you get that sort of corpse phase change, because then it's just a bunch of time loss. So this is good as long as he's away from the corpse. He's just moving here. I don't know what he's doing. He's just, and unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to actually speed this process up. I just have to wait for him to finish. Okay. So he should be filling a pool right around here. Where the heck is he? Oh, okay. Who's behind me? So I'm gonna do a thing called pool canceling, where I'm gonna step in this pool. He's like on the pool for some reason. Can you please move? So you'll see me sort of activate the arm cannon and deactivate phase-on beam, and by stepping in and out of the pool. That allows me to conserve the ammunition left in the pool. Also, I should be doing this faster. So then I can fire more of the beam at him. He should probably die after this point. And time is going to stop right now. And that's Metroid Prime, dude.
GG for finishing.
That's going to be like probably a 116 maybe. 115, 116.
That's a single segment run right there. Well done, well done.
Pretty bad run. I got the trigger twice. That was stupid. Sorry, I was kind of going all over the place with explaining the fight. But yeah, that fight can be almost like a minute 30 to like 2 minutes long when done optimally. It's a very, very fast fight when done right. What was my time? That was like a 130 something, I think. Like a mid 130 to high 130, I think. I could actually just check the stream. $138.23, so still lost a dumb amount of time. But again, those 2 minutes were to like the last boss, so. There's a lot I want to say. For those like that are interested, again, this whole run can be done inbounds. You don't even have to skip Spider Ball if you're just learning the route. It's actually quite easy route to learn now. The only one real run killer is with the early wild trick, but besides that, like, there's a lot of safety strats you can do. Also, excuse me, I burped. My goodness. Oh, hey, there you are.
Oh, hold on.
The run's done. So, for those of you that might be interested in running this, I highly suggest. It's a fantastic speed game. It has a bit more of a learning curve than other runs, but it's not as bad as it looks. There's a lot of tutorials on it. I highly recommend watching.
As hard as you want to make it, really. I mean,
yeah,
the
pretty
faster
much.
You want to go, the more difficult it'll be. But for a beginner, it does have the potential for it to not be like ludicrously challenging. So.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's pretty easy to get into. I encourage anyone who might be interested to really pick up this game. The any percent route, again, is very well done. The 100% route's also nice and fast. Easy to learn. Doesn't require the early wild trick.
Yeah, actually, ironically, the 100% run...
If you're interested, I'm going to link to it in chat if links are allowed. I highly recommend watching Remy Demi's beginner route tutorial. He explains all the tricks you need to do in the run to really, like, go fast. And it's the exact same route that I would take, except you get Spider Ball in it. Otherwise, you do the exact same tricks. A lot of the tricks are...
Wild, actually, I think,
a lot of the tricks are quite easy to do. Infinite Speed's quite easy to do. Doing the bosses can be a bit challenging, but it's not that bad. It's just really, it's just the challenge is understanding how the game's mechanics works and how to move fast enough to to keep going fast and not slow down, and then just knowing how to do the boss fight quick kills or just killing bosses as fast as possible. So let me go ahead and link that in chat if I can. Again, fantastic video. I highly recommend it. It looks like links are not allowed, so that's unfortunate. Oh, okay, Cold Ones Inc. Cool. Thank you, Cold Ones Inc. If you want to see more insanity, I highly recommend watching the 2 world record videos by Justin DM and T3. They both have the tied world record of 53 minutes in-game time. It is fact IMO. Oh my gosh, LV. What's interesting about both world record videos is that so the world record's been 53 minutes for almost 3 years now. It was done on the older route before the new one that I did tonight was discovered. Very interesting stuff. T3 just is a god at this game, and so is Justin. Whereas Justin accomplished it earlier this year with the new double IS route. Another person I want to plug is Hazel for the incredibly entertaining tasks of this game. Finishes the game in 37 minutes. Does a lot of ridiculously crazy strats. Highly recommended. But for those of you that might be interested in running, again, I suggest watching the beginner route, but you can find all the resources you need by going to speedrun.com/mp and going to the resources page on the left side. That'll get you to our Discord. There'll be links to tutorial videos, routing, has a forum section too. So now here's the screen to end all screens, the in-game time screen. I'm guessing it's a 116. 114, okay, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Thank you all. Seriously, this was a very entertaining run to do. I know a bunch of dumb stuff happened in it, but it doesn't matter to me. I got to show off a single segment run, and I'm very happy with it. Thank you guys. I'm just happy I finished under estimate. I put my original estimate at 142. I don't know if it was increased or not. Hopefully, I'm not getting the event behind schedule. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Shoutouts to all the Prime people who are in chat right now. I had a lot of fun with this. Pitsky, thank you
for having me commentate.
Oh, dude, yeah, shoutouts to Pitsky. He's a long-time runner, I think. I'm pretty sure. You've
like
been around
2 years, almost.
Yeah, okay. Longer than me, which is enough. Thanks again, man. I appreciate it. It's nice having a co-pilot for sure. Man, I'm glad that run's done. It was stupid, but yeah, some cool stuff.
No,
so again,
you did well, man. Anything I would say
it went
122,
yeah.
So
I didn't have to reset anywhere, which would have been pretty bad time loss wise. So,
and you didn't fail early wild.
I didn't feel early wild. I did that in my first. Also, shoutouts to Remy. Shoutouts to Remy. He for his amazing ESA Germany run from this year. I won't go into any more detail. That's all you need to know. Although to be fair, I also my first ever marathon run at Themathon a couple months ago, I failed early wild, so I had to load a backup save. All right, well, let me see who's up next in the schedule here. But
and with that, I'm actually out of here. So thank you.
Thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cold Ones Inc. for having me along on the ride here.
Oh, that's what they were saying. Phase 4. Sorry. Shoutouts to Phasing Mousy for their Chain of Memories Reverse Rebirth Any Percent run. A lot of Kingdom Hearts guys in this group, which is pretty cool. So should be a pretty entertaining run. And that'll do it for me. I'm BashPrime, and I will see you guys in chat I do runs of this all the time. I play a lot of Metroid Prime Randomizer, another really entertaining thing. I'm doing a 21% route as well right now for the first time, so some pretty interesting stuff, maybe at the expense of my own insanity. So again, I'm BashPrime. Thanks again. Shoutouts to Pitsky for providing the fantastic commentary. Shoutouts to you guys in chat for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Good night.